Screensavers, followed by Players at 8 and Sweat at 8:30.
Coming up tonight, get your old Sega Genesis games up to speed. Plus, Super Audio CD, DVD audio, and HD audio will decipher these competing audio standards. And Pat visits the very first space shuttle. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers. Woo!
Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. From overclocking to hacking to the latest and greatest man skirts.
I like to call them kilts.
Patrick calls them kilts. We cover it all on the Screensavers.
Getting a little feisty, aren't you?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Tonight, we have a great show. Learn how to overclock your Sega Genesis to run games faster. How old school is that?
Very cool. Plus, we're going to take a look at one of the Smithsonian's largest artifacts, the Space Shuttle Enterprise.
I got to touch it.
That's cool. Just go inside? We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. And we're going to make sense, or we're going to try to make sense of all the competing next generation, replacing your CD digital audio formats. You asked us, and we're, well, going to tell you just how annoying it all is. Yoshi, what's going on in the lab?
Well, you know, it's move time, so the fun part about move time is getting to go through everything and see what you need to move.
So you just cleaning up? Do you have anything you want to sell? Or?
Rebuilding systems, seeing which parts are too old to even bother, and going from there.
I think we need to start giving away some of the stuff to the audience, because we have so much extra computer parts here. The audience wants some free computer parts.
No. It'll cost you money to dispose of a lot of this stuff. In fact, in some states, it's actually considered a violation of civil rights to be saddled with some of these processors.
I'm going to see what we have, because we have a bunch of junk.
There's some random stuff back there.
Boxes and boxes full of stuff. This is actually a project that I need to return that I'm taking apart.
Very cool.
20-inch, hard drive disk.
A couple terabytes worth of drives, that's it.
Oh. Big monitors that don't work anymore.
A lot of dead stuff around here.
We like burning.
Thanks to Patrick.
Not true. I've had a lot of help over the years.
You've broken a lot.
I've fixed a lot more than I've broken.
Dan's over there. In the nook.
Speaking of which, back in the boxes put away, we put Chris Prillo back there just to
really?
hide him away. That's where he went. That's where he went. He's gone. Hey, give me a call. The phone number is 888-989-7879, and the email address is thescreensavers@techtv.com. Back to you guys.
Excellent.
Tech news?
Time for the tech news cut right today. Sarah's not here today. She's out a little day off. Some people get those sometimes. You have the news today. Start off with the first story.
Some LA area college students are getting a lesson in ethical hacking. Their school offers a unique hacking how-to course with Quit Laughing, where students learn how hackers gain access to networks and ultimately how to prevent hacker attacks. This is actually some pretty important stuff, because most people, especially if they haven't been brought up or a friend or a cousin or a neighbor or whatever it is, the hacker, it's an illegal activity where people are trying to steal credit card numbers online. The truth is, hacking is a long concept. It's a long idea of basically exploring knowledge for knowledge's sake and pushing the envelope out.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from hackers. That's how you reverse engineer things, how you understand how things work. I think that there's a lot of good information that's going to come out of courses like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the truth is, and one of the fundamental things you talk about all the time is you need to be able to know how to hack, and you need to know how attacks work if you're going to be able to make sure your systems, your networks, your systems are secure.
Yeah, and that is, I'm not teaching the class, and I don't know where they got that picture from. They just take these random pictures. That's a terrible picture. Don't show that. Oh, take that down. That's
You're so perky.
Huge announcement today on the browser wars front. Adobe, Macromedia, Apple, Sun, Opera, and Mozilla have joined forces to develop a common cross-platform plug-in interface that will be used in Mozilla, Firefox, Opera, and Safari browsers. And to top it off, they're releasing this as open source. I think this is a big win.
So you're like gushing about
this. I'm excited about this.
I'll see when it ships.
Yeah, but the biggest problem, I believe, with Firefox and Mozilla and any of the other browsers is that you can't they don't have the ActiveX. They don't have the real-time installation of plugins.
See, I always thought the problem was that you don't have a copy of Mozilla installed in the desktop and integrated in the operating system with every copy of Windows XP sold in the world.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the integration of browser into operating system has that much to do with it.
It's less the integration and more the distribution.
Yeah,
I think
distribution's a big part.
If there was right next to that silly little E, if there was the Firefox logo right there, how many people would still be running Internet Explorer?
If it was, yeah, that's true. If it was bundled in there, I mean, I think a lot more people would choose Firefox just because of some of the advanced features it has. But this is a big win, though. This is something that they needed to do.
This is essentially automated plugins so that I don't have to go to a third-party site and download something and install it from Mozilla, but it'll actually seamlessly integrate new plugins or tools to access web content.
Right. If our viewers out there, have you ever used Mozilla or Firefox, it comes up with like a broken image, or it'll show you like a little plugin icon.
Or to tell you to see this, click here.
And then when you click there, it makes you download the software, close all your browsers out, install it separately, restart the software. Hopefully not, you don't have to reboot. But this is cool. This will make it just one click, install, done deal.
If Kevin's excited, you should be excited. Yeah, actually.
Big forces coming together.
You know, I know, but it's still, I would like, you know.
You just want to see it shipping.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Play
I want
with
to see it running. I'll be so excited.
It's coming.
It's good. Matthew joins us on the G4 Tech TV NetCam network from Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, Matthew.
Hi. I'm just wondering how to limit bandwidth on certain computers on a Belkin router using a AT Nucleus Plus firmware, preferably to keep the download from consuming all the bandwidth.
I can see your bookshelf right now.
Yeah,
can't see a whole lot else.
I mean, this is like, I feel like we're on like, we've covered, there you are.
There we go.
I thought you were hiding for purposes of evasion or something.
What kind of webcam is that, just out of curiosity?
It's a real cheap one.
Does it have a focus knob? Because you're a little blurry. It's kind of, actually, it's very avant-garde. Anyhow, I obviously digressed in a direction no one cares about. So what router do you have, Matthew, again?
It's a Belkin router.
Do you have a lot of time and energy to reverse engineer and figure out how to hack a version of Linux to run on that?
I've already reverse engineered it some, and I figured out the firmware version, and I extracted some data from the actual firmware, but I can't seem to completely reverse engineer it. Most of it seems to be written in compiled code. Most of the files don't seem to be inside compiled code. It's very hard to...
Just out of curiosity, have you figured out what kind of chipset's running inside of that, Matthew?
No, I have no idea. I can't figure out how to even open the thing up.
Okay.
Is it running a version of embedded Linux, do you know?
It's running ATI Nucleus Plus.
We have no idea I have no idea.
Yeah, I've never messed around with this.
It's a real-time operating system.
The one thing that's cool about the Linksys WRT54G, which is I'm sure where you've probably seen that segment. Did you see that segment where I put the Linux in the Linksys?
Yeah.
It was actually already running Linux, but there was actually a vulnerability in the ping command that allowed you to run an exploit on there and actually reflash the firmware with a hacked version of Linux. But the problem with this is that we don't know exactly what OS it's running. We don't know if there's any vulnerabilities out there. Have you been to the different message boards and done some searches for any type of hacks for this particular router?
Yeah, I've searched quite a bit, and most of the stuff I found is for that Linksys 54G router.
Right.
Yeah, I'm suspecting what it probably is accelerated technology makes a bunch of real-time operating systems, embedded operating systems. It's a proprietary operating system. You could call them or start investigating on their website to see what you can learn about how it works and what's in there. But unless you have a real hankering for being the person who becomes the bleeding edge leading expert on hacking Belkin routers, you probably are better off selling the Belkin on eBay and buying a Linksys router and loading the software that other people have put together for the Linksys router.
I was going to say, the guys, I was messing around in the forums where they had all the Linksys stuff, and these guys that reverse engineered this, and talk about being able to access decompilers and reverse engineer the code and actually get in there, and hardcore guys. I mean, this isn't something the average home user can do. Not to say that you can't do that, Matthew.
It's a noble project.
Yes.
It would probably be an incredible learning experience, but people do master's and PhD work trying to do essentially what you're doing right now, Matthew. So give it a shot, investigate it, keep searching online, see if anybody else is working on this. But the reason so many people are working on that Linksys is because there's so many zillions of them out there. So I would probably target something that there are a few more million of them out in the world.
Yeah.
So good luck, Matthew.
Thanks for the call, Matthew.
Hey, we're just getting started. Still ahead, join Patrick as he takes a look at the first space shuttle and its place in history. After the break, Give your Sega Genesis a speed boost. We'll show you how to overclock it and run all your games quicker when the screensavers continue.
Assume your command with Full Spectrum Warrior, only on Xbox. Play it on Xbox Live.
The greatest commanders don't just deliver their men to victory. They deliver them home. Full Spectrum Warrior, rated mature. Play it on Xbox Live.
Hey, honey.
Hey, just think of what we can do with all the money we're saving.
Well, I have been giving it some thought.
Really?
Yeah.
Prices you gotta see. Circuit City's the place for amazing digital cameras at great low prices. Right now, save $50 on this Sony 3.2 megapixel digital camera with 2x optical zoom. Now an incredible $179.99 only at Circuit City.
Songs by the original artist directly to your singular phone. Hundreds of choices from more music labels than any other wireless carrier.
Thanks for downloading us tonight.
Real music tones. Another reason Singular fits you best.
For years, there's only been one way to go for internet service. The same companies charging the same high prices, even as technology costs go down. Ready for something new? With People PC Online, you get unlimited internet access for only $10.95 a month. With no banner ads on your welcome page. Go to peoplepc.com now to try our service free for 30 days and compare us with your current ISP. People PC Online has more local access numbers than AOL, plus a smart dialer that automatically chooses the fastest, most reliable number, so you always get the best connection. That's why so many of our members recommend us to family and friends. People PC Online gives you a better internet experience at a lower price. To compare us free for 30 days, visit peoplepc.com for a 3-minute download of our easy-to-use software or call 1-800-748-7576. People PC Online, a better way to internet.
It's up to you to choose which games win at this year's G4ia, the award show for gamers. Go to g4techtv.com/G4ia and decide who gets best game, character, soundtrack, and more. Press, vote, and make your voice heard. It's all part of G4ia, presented by EB Games and Jeep.
If you're like me, then you're still playing some of the old gaming systems. One of my favorites was the old Sega Genesis. Well, our next guest wanted to get a little more speed out of his Genesis, so he decided to overclock it. Here to explain how it works, please welcome 19-year-old Devin Gallo. Hey, Devin. Hey. Dude, I'm stoked to have you on here. You're doing some crazy stuff with the Genesis. I remember these things from way back when. I had one, used to love to play it, but you're actually wanting to speed it up a little bit. Why overclock an old Genesis?
A lot of the older games, ones that were closer to the end of the system's lifespan, were extremely demanding on the hardware. So when the system got overworked, it would start slowing down.
So the programmers were creating these complicated games that would actually work the CPU too much, and you would see certain artifacts on the screen, or what were you experiencing?
Less artifacts, but more slowdown. The same thing would stay on the screen for too long. For example, you'd be trying to jump or fire, and you'd be in the air for too long, or shots would take too long to reach their destination. It was mainly just things taking way too long. So waiting on the CPU. You decided I'm just going to crack open a Genesis and start hacking away, or? Basically, yeah. Nice. So what did the girlfriend think about this? You know, was she like, stop hacking with the Genesis, spend some more time with me? Oh, there's no girlfriend, but... that makes it a lot easier. Yes, it does.
So, tell me here, this is the Genesis that we have here. I found this one on the set. This one's old, dusty, it's been laying around. We took the screws out. I'm going to open it up here. So, tell me, what exactly are we looking at here?
Well, basically, you've got your metal plating here, just shielding it from interference.
Okay.
And then you get that off of there, and you've got the motherboard here. What you actually want to be working with is your CPU over here in the corner.
So this is the CPU. What type of CPU is that running?
That's the Motorola 68000.
Oh, interesting. So it's like almost like some of the old Apple CPUs that they used to.
Exactly. It was used in some of the Macintoshes.
Okay, so you have a Motorola CPU now. Where's the knob? I mean, today's motherboards, you flip a jumper or something like that, or you used to flip a jumper, you do it in software. How are you going to overclock this thing? I don't see any jumpers here.
Yeah, these weren't designed to be expandable. They weren't even meant to be open. So what you need to do is find a pin on the CPU. It's actually pin 15, which should be located about here.
Okay.
And you find the trace, the wire on the board coming out of there, and then you cut that with an X-Acto knife, and then you connect a new clock frequency to it, a new signal.
So explain, why are we cutting this with an X-Acto knife? Is that where it's getting the clock frequency from?
Yeah, it's pulling it actually out of this chip over here.
Okay.
And so what you need to do is just keep it from getting a signal so you can give it whatever signal you want.
What megahertz is it running at right now?
7.6.
And what are we going to overclock it to?
13.4.
Oh, that's quite a bit. That's a nice little performance increase. Now, where are you getting this new clock frequency from if you're cutting the lead altogether?
Well, Sega was anticipating that a lot of games would include extra chips for 3D, things like that, but they need a clock signal too.
Okay.
So they included a higher one, the 13 megahertz signal, on the cartridge slot. So what you can do is actually just go to the back of the board.
Okay, let's flip this around right here. And you take it out like that, and then on the back side,
you can just find pin B19, which has a higher signal.
And that would be on this, coming off of here, right here, the slot, right?
Yeah, you'll have, you'll go right here toward the edge and right there. This will be B32. You go back to 19 for the normal signal and then back further to 15 and you get a 13 megahertz signal.
Okay, so you're just going to basically solder and then do a patch and you'll get the 13 megahertz CPU.
Right.
Very cool. So tell me, show me the back of yours here now. Yours is a little more, you have switches and all kinds of stuff going on over here. Explain, how did you set this up?
Well, basically I've got two switches here. This one here is the halt switch, and this is the clock switch.
Okay.
This one actually lets you pick the speed, so you can pick between 7.6 and 13.4,
okay,
or 8 and 13. And this one lets you stop the CPU from doing whatever it's doing for a moment.
Just
so
pauses the CPU or stops any information from flowing through it?
Right. If you change speeds while it's running, then you'll have it crash. So what you want to do is start it up at the slow speed and then halt it and change it to the higher one.
Okay. So we have some games here. We have all different types of games. You have Echo the Dolphin. Is that one? Echo the Dolphin. Come on.
You'd be surprised how slow the game
The dolphin
can get.
slows everything down?
Less the dolphin, but more all the aliens.
So what are we
when
playing
you end
here?
up with 10 or 15 of them on screen, things get so slow it's unbelievable.
What's the best example that we can show on here? We have Sonic 2. Is this going to be a good example of it slowing down?
Yes, because Sonic 2 actually had a two-player mode where it's got both players going at the same time.
Oh, it's split screen.
It might as well be running the game twice at the same time.
Okay.
So it's very demanding.
Let's do it. So
all right.
Here we have, you have it already set up and everything. So we have two Sonic games going on here. How are we going to slow it down now?
Well, basically, one of the best ways to slow down the system is to put a lot of sprites on screen. So I'm going to jump onto these spikes, and you'll notice it goes extremely slow down.
Yeah, it wouldn't even let me move there for a second.
Back on the screen. Exactly, yes. The platform starts slowing down and all that. But now, if I go to the back here, and I
when you
flip the switch to halt, so everything stops.
Yeah, it just messed up the entire screen.
Yeah,
the music's still going, though.
Yeah, that's a different chip. So the chip keeps going. So you turn it to 13.
So now you just overclocked it by flipping the switch.
And now it's unhalted. And now it's moving again. And so now if you jump onto those spikes, boom.
Oh, I see. Much faster.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a pretty dramatic increase.
Very cool. So that's now it's completely running. Any worries about it getting too hot when it's overclocked like we have with common CPUs?
No, generally the CPU will stay within about 80, 85 degrees at the hottest. So not even hot enough to need a heat sink, much less a fan.
Very cool. And the total cost on this?
If you don't already have a soldering iron, some wire, you'll generally run about $15, $20 at the most.
$15, $20, done deal. Now, how about the old Genesis that we have here? Do you think you can overclock this during the time that we have at the rest of the show and we can come back to you? And
it's possible. I should be able to do that.
Very cool. So I'll give you a little challenge. If you can get this overclocked, we got a bunch of free stuff. I'll let you take as much of this free extra junk that we have laying around as you want. Does that sound very exciting to you? You're like, I care less.
That sounds like a good deal to me.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thanks, Devin. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for inviting me. For a detailed article on how you too can overclock your Genesis, head on over to epicgaming.net. You actually wrote an article there. Has all the information.
All I can say is best of luck, Devin. But still to come, learn about the efforts to preserve NASA's very first space shuttle, the Enterprise. But up next, we help John decide which components to use in his home-built PC. Find out what we recommend, all that when the Screensavers continues.
Two thumbs way up. Roger Ebert raves. This may be the best superhero movie I've ever seen.
Tell everyone to hang on!
Rolling Stone magazine says it's all you can ask for in a summer film. The story continues. Rated PG-13. This time, there's nowhere he can't go. In Spider-Man 2, the game, you have the freedom to go wherever you want, whenever you want. Use amazing new abilities to hop from blacktop to rooftop and save the city one crime at a time. Spider-Man 2, the game. Rated T for teen.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a non-profit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something. I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just one monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not snapping at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt, and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Check this out. This is what we do for a living.
We're video game designers.
And we're game programmers.
With the training offered at Collins College, you can learn to design, code, and test games like this.
And this.
Game design is a growing career.
For a brochure on a career in game design, call Collins College at 1-888-256-1200 now. That's 1-888-256-1200. Call Collins College now.
One quick click. Velos will keep your entire system virus-free, safe, and secure.
Virus protection, second to none.
With a spam blocker and spyware remover.
Pop-up blocker.
Firewall for all the protection you'll ever need.
Guaranteed.
Visit velos.com.
And make it quick.
You may be infected and not even know it. Go to velos.com for a free virus scan now.
Don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party. This week's game is the MMORPG Star Wars Galaxies. Yes, that was Patrick Norton. If you ever wanted to be a bounty hunter, a CD smuggler, or a Jedi, this is the game for you. This Thursday, you're going to have your choice of events. One, for the newbies, you can hang out and chat with Pat. Pat, well, I'm just saying, Pat, you don't play a whole lot of the game.
No, this is a game where Joshua Brentano is so far ahead, I will never ever be able to play competitively.
So just hang out and chat.
I'll just hang out and chat.
And number 2, for the stronger players, you can go and attack the Tusken Raider Fort. Number 3, for the high-level players, you can go Crate, Dragon, or Gorax hunting.
Ooh.
What that is, I have no idea. And for number 4, the sickest and toughest, most advanced players will be hunting the Witches of Dothamir.
You know, I suddenly feel like I have much more of a life than I did just a few minutes ago.
The Witches of Dothamir.
What after the Witches of Dothamir? It's like watching this sounds like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Dathomir? Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. Dathomir.
Actually, so what's your online Star Wars multiply massive?
The Beast. That's my name.
That's his name,
in
the Beast.
Star Wars. The Beast. I'm a big Wookiee. Like me. Rah.
Dan needs to get out and get a little more sunshine. That's what he needs to be doing. So get your character started on our Intrepid server right now and get ready to play with the screensavers. Now, you got to go to g4techtv.com/LAN party and click the Join Our LAN Party to register and download the 14-day trial. Start now.
Yeah.
Because it's 1.9 gigabytes.
Yeah, I'd actually download a copy of Download Accelerator Plus, then I'd start the 1.9 gigabyte download.
Takes a while. Takes a while.
Very long while. Once you register, we're going to send you the details on where to meet, and we'll see you Thursday. I believe that's tomorrow for the Screensavers LAN party.
Yes,
Powered by NVIDIA. Yeah.
I liked your way better. Do it one more time.
Powered by NVIDIA.
Aww. Somebody's got to sample that and get a sound clip of that. That's awesome.
Do an entire show like that someday.
Excellent.
John joins us on the phone from Lebanon, Missouri. How you doing, John?
Hey, John.
Doing just fine, guys. How are you?
Excellent.
Yeah, hanging out.
Awesome.
How can we help you today?
Okay, I'm looking to build my first computer.
Outstanding.
Let's get a round of applause. First PC. First PC. That's awesome.
It's a good thing. And I'm looking to run both Adobe Photoshop and other Adobe products and video editing software. What kind of parts should I be looking for to do that?
Really fast ones, John. You've just managed to. I tell you one place we can save you money, unless you like to play 3D video, like high-end first-person shooters.
Right.
Do you like to play 3D shoot-'em-ups, video games?
I'm not really into the video games.
Perfect. We just saved you like $300,
Okay.
or at least $100, because when you're doing stuff like video editing and working with Photoshop, as long as pretty much it's almost impossible to buy a graphics card these days or to have graphics on board that aren't fast enough and have enough memory to deal with any 2D images that can be displayed on the screen or even the video images from video editing, which is good because you've managed to pick the three things that will pretty much tax your computer more than anything else, because for Photoshop and video editing, you need a really fast processor, you need as much memory as you can afford, and especially for video editing, you need as much hard drive space as you can stand.
Okay.
Okay. So are you looking for, do you have a budget in mind, or what are you thinking about spending, John?
About $4,000.
Oh, whoa. Well.
$4,000?
Outstanding. You have no limitations, John. You could buy a Pentium 4 and an Athlon XP. I would do some reading, and because if you go up to hardocp.com, look at some of the benchmarks they've been running on Pentium 4, and Nantech.com is another good place to check. Look at, because some of the benchmarks is interesting. Athlon processors are great for video games, but some of the Pentium 4 processors have a little bit of advantage on some of the Adobe applications. It's probably worth checking out and learning a little bit more about that.
John, have you ever considered going with a G5?
No, I haven't.
Is it something that you're interested in? I mean,
I'm a little bit new to this technology thing, so you're going to have to bear with me a little.
Oh, it's okay.
Have you done any work with Photoshop or any movie editing packages, video editing packages?
Yeah, I've been working with Photoshop for about a year now.
Okay, good. So you're well on your way. So what Kevin's talking about, you familiar with the whole Apple concept, Apple Macintoshes?
I've heard of them, but I use Windows.
Okay. A lot of people are huge fans of the Power Macs, the Macintoshes, and they're a mainstay both in people who live on Photoshop, that do desktop publishing, and video editing and audio. Now, I don't know if I'd take their Adobe Photoshop benchmark as anything that resembles reality.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, these benchmarks, I'm not sure if they're 100% accurate either. But they are going to be just as fast as the equivalent PC, especially when it comes to like video editing and graphic design work and Photoshop. They're extremely fast. Something worth checking out. Talk to some of your video editing friends. See what platforms they're on. Talk to whoever your clients are. Find out what file formats you're going to have to exchange and go back and forth with.
Unfortunately, you'll spend 3/4 of your budget in one fell swoop.
Yes.
You'll spend at least $2,500 to $3,000 on a G5. I'd probably start looking at either a dual processor Athlon MP system or a Pentium 4 system or an Athlon 64 system. Get at least a 3 gigahertz processor on an Athlon XP or a Pentium 4 since you got money to burn. Get a gigabyte of memory. Get a couple of 250 gigabyte hard drives. Try to make them serial ATA if you can. And get a DVD burner, and you're set. And then you'll have a couple $1,000 left over at that point to spend on software and more memory and more hard drives. So
sounds like fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks for the call, John.
Just a quick update. Devin is sweating. I don't know if he can finish this. We'll see if he does. But anyways, get back to the show. Keeping up with the latest PC games, demos, and patches truly requires you to do a lot of homework. So Microsoft has released a game advisor that provides all that for you. So head on over to windowsgameadvisor.com and click on the link to start. And when you do that, it looks like this and have tons of little options. It's helpful, but it only covers the major games that have been released. So caveat emptor. Anyways, don't go anywhere. We're taking a close look at some competing digital audio formats to see which one is the best for you. But after the break, find out how they tested the very first space shuttle and where you can see it in person. All that when the Screensavers comes back.
Flip it this summer. Rent as many games as you want.
Flip it.
For as long as you want. Play a game, then flip it for a new one. Flip it with the new Blockbuster Flip card. Rent it, play it, flip it. $49 is all you pay for 3 months of unlimited gaming. Game all summer for less than the price of the hottest new games. So get to Blockbuster now and
flip it.
Rent the hottest games today like PsyOps, The Mindgate Conspiracy. Play it, then flip it for Driver 3 at Blockbuster now.
We are on the eve of the largest robotic distribution in history. There will be one robot to every 5 humans.
Hell no. What am I?
Get off my car! Come on! Where you going?
Will Smith, I'm Robot. Rated PG-13. July 16th only in theaters. Gotcha.
Bobcat 3625. Three, 7, 2, 6. Saber 15, this is Bobcat 36. Confirm weapons enemy scan. Orders for airstrike is followed. Echo, Hotel. Over. Overwatch. This is Golf 2 in position. Over.
Weeknights, late night. Hold on tight. Get a load of this. At 11, go crazy with Video Game Mania on X-Play.
The biggest video game event in the world.
So take a walk on the wild side of technology on Unscrewed with Martin Sargent.
I'm Martin Sargent, and I like to ramble. That was fantastic.
It's back-to-back action tonight. X-Play at 11 and Unscrewed at 11:30. Only on G4 Tech TV.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up in this half hour, we're going to help you figure out which hi-fi digital audio format is right for you, if any of them. Plus, we're going to be taking more of your fabulous live calls. Right now, though, the heart of any museum is definitely its collection of artifacts. And as I found out on a recent visit to the National Air and Space Museum, the new one opened by Dulles Airport outside of Washington, D.C., there is no greater historical and scientific artifact, or at least bigger, that I can think of than this museum's latest project. Let's take a look.
So say you run a museum and somebody gives you a space shuttle and you've got nowhere to put it. Well, if you're the Smithsonian, you build a new National Air and Space Museum to house it and thousands of the artifacts they have no room for. Tremendous facility. There's a huge hangar. It's still less than 1/3 of the Smithsonian's Air and Space collection is on display.
Oh, that's correct. One of the things that we wanted to do by building this was to allow more of our artifacts to go on display.
You actually came to the Smithsonian from NASA.
Right.
What did you do at NASA?
Well, I was the NASA chief historian between 1990 and 2002. Space history is one of the curatorial departments that we have at the museum. There's about 3,000 space artifacts and probably about 25,000 aeronautical artifacts.
What's your favorite display in the new museum?
Oh, in the new museum, without a doubt, it's the Enterprise. I mean, it is a stunning artifact. The shuttle program has been a really stellar achievement for NASA since it first flew in 1981. There's been a couple of accidents which are tragic, but this vehicle has enormous capability and enormous flexibility, and it enabled NASA to do things that no one ever believed was possible when they started flying, like build a vehicle like the Hubble Space Telescope, deploy it from the payload bay, and then go back up and service it and keep it operational.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the Enterprise.
The Enterprise is the prototype of the space shuttles that are flying today. It was the first one built. It was used for structural dynamics tests, and it was used for what they called the approach and landing tests. And in the 1970s, 1977 to be exact, they made several flights off of the back of a 747 to see how this vehicle would perform in the atmosphere and take it in for a landing. And it was an interesting experience, a little hairy, according to the pilots who were involved.
I was going to say, there must have been, kind of the luckiest test pilots in the program and probably the most nervous test pilots. This has actually been in storage for quite some time. It just recently has been brought out for display. What's going on here? Because you actually is it restoration or is it more of a cleaning?
Yeah, we're basically doing a wash job on it at this point. The shuttle arrived in the mid-1980s. It was put into a hangar and just pretty much left there until we moved it just last fall over to this hangar. And it's got 15 to 19 years of grime on top of it. It sat outside for a period of time before it was put in a hangar, and so it's got that weathering as well. And it's important then that we give it a good scrubbing. And then there's a paint job that we've got to do as well.
Roger, there seems to be a chunk missing from the wing on either side. What's going on with that?
That leading edge that you see on the wing here is where the reinforced carbon-carbon panels are on a space shuttle. And it was the RCC, or the reinforced carbon-carbon panels, that failed when Columbia was lost last year. So when they did the accident investigation, NASA came and removed that portion of the wing to do tests on it. They're going to return it in the fall.
The Enterprise is in this room. What else is going to populate the display in this room?
We've got some really cool stuff that's going in here. We've got a whole suite of rockets and rocket engines. We're going to have a whole series of space science artifacts that will be everything from Mariner 10, which is one of the Mariner missions. It's a prototype that went to Mars. The Pathfinder prototype that landed on Mars in 1997. We're going to have a human spaceflight component where we have not only Enterprise, but also a Mercury, a Gemini, and Apollo capsules on display. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You.
If you get a chance, if you like planes, if you like rockets, definitely go to see the new Air and Space Museum. It is huge. It is like 2 dirigible hangars. It's so big. They have a Concorde inside. A 727 is inside of there. The Enola Gay is in there. They have a huge exhibit of Cold War era, Vietnam era, and later MiGs and American fighters. And they literally have all these amazing just artifacts. Full entire aircraft. There's a Huey. You remember the Huey helicopters? Yeah. They're small. They're little.
That's awesome.
Now I know why they always shoot at them like this, because if you shot at them like this with a video camera, it would look this big. It's an incredible museum, and they're adding more stuff to it every day.
So with all your behind-the-scenes Tech TV creds, did you get to go inside of the shuttle?
They won't let anybody inside the shuttle because it's fragile. It's been sitting outside. They kind of had to clear the snakes and the spiders out of it. There was never apparently very much structure inside that. They built that one as a prototype to figure out if they could actually land more of them, right? So, apparently the pilots were like, yeah, it's like it's the most aerodynamic brick we'll ever fly. You know what I mean? And so there was never really fully outfitted.
So it just sits there now. It's not still being used for anything anymore.
No, and they've actually stripped almost everything that could be used for any other shuttle. They've stripped it for parts. So it was basically sitting outside, gathering dust. They've been cleaning it and scrubbing it.
It's kind of scary. I don't know if I'd want to go on a shuttle that's had recycled parts put on it. I don't know.
You know what? Do you fly in airplanes?
Yeah.
They use recycled parts.
Don't tell me this. I don't want to know that.
Well, apparently, though, about the only thing left inside the Enterprise that could be reused at this point is they have the little pedals for the foot controls.
Oh, nice.
So there's not much left inside of there. Amazing museum. Go and see it if you're in the D.C. area.
Very cool.
Stay where you are. We answer a young viewer's question about e-machines and gaming. But up next, find out which audio standard you should adopt. We'll show you the ins and outs of SACD, DVD audio, and Intel's HD audio when the Screensavers continues.
This portion of G4 Tech TV is brought to you by Diet Coke. It's a Diet Coke thing.
Hey, Brody. People, are you ready? Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
You don't believe it, you can read it, page 1, and you look at it, all singing smoke, really born, baby. That's my passion, I'm at every singing, and I think on that topic we don't live agreement.
Well, you gonna call someone or what?
Midday during peak hours? You call.
I'm not gonna call. He should call.
Before 7 p.m.? What do I look like, some kind of fool?
Daytime minutes costing you a fortune? Take your number to T-Mobile and call whenever for one low price.
Whenever.
Now get 1,000 whenever minutes, no long distance or roaming, just $39.99.
T-Mobile. Get more.
It's Ashley's 10th birthday.
New Juicy Fruit Staffleberry!
All right, I think he wants it back.
Gotta have Twisted Sweet. Gotta have new Juicy Fruit Grapefruit and Strappleberry. Ever dream you could fly? Stop dreaming. Start flying.
You can do it. I did. It's fun and it's easier than you think. You can be flying this year and for less than you think.
Try flying for just $49 with this free certificate from Be a Pilot. For your certificate, call 1-888-BE-A-PILOT or log on to beapilot.com.
Makes a great gift. Then try the pilot seat for just $49 at your local flight school.
There's only one award show for gamers, G4ia, where wondrous celebs, heavenly bands, and gaming's biggest awards come together in a paradise for players. Join us for the ultimate gamer celebration. Watch it only on G4 Tech TV. G4ia, sponsored by EB Games and Jeep.
Devin's over there.
What's he doing?
Yeah, he's working. How's it going, Devin?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Are you getting there?
Yeah, I'd say I am.
Excellent. We're going to have it done by the end of the show. We're going to have Overclocked, our own little Overclocked Genesis.
How cool is that?
It's very cool.
Fire up the Sega.
We're excited.
Good stuff. Year after year, audio purists often want the best in high-fidelity digital audio, or for that matter, high-fidelity audio period has pushed them all the way back to using vinyl records and some incredibly ornate systems to try to find the most music in the recording. Mostly, though, they complain about CD audio, which has led to some emerging audio standards. Why? Because the CD is obsolete, right? It sounds awful to all of us. Thing people keep asking us is, what's the difference? SACD, DVD audio, and HD audio is the latest one thrown in by Intel. Which should you buy? And you know what? I wouldn't get too upset about it. All these are involved to do one thing. They want to replace the CD format as the primary means of distribution. I should say HD audio. HD audio from Intel, actually. Let's just take that out of the mix right now. Essentially, HD audio is Intel's attempt to bring higher quality audio to the Intel platform.
I was going to say, when I go to Best Buy, the two I see are the DVD audio and the Super Audio CDs.
Yeah, HD audio isn't a competitive technology. It's basically a means of decoding it. One of the best things, if you want to go to extremetech.com, they've got some great discussions on Intel HD because it's just really come out of the lab recently. Dave Salvatore wrote a great article on it. But you know what? It's like, you know, HD audio supports up to 15 simultaneous audio streams, supporting resolutions up to and including 192 kilohertz per 24-bit, blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, though, no DVD audio player applications with full support of encrypted DVD audio is yet available, which means, yes, they're doing incredible things with digital audio handling, you know, over at Intel, and you probably aren't going to be able to listen to digital audio or the DVD-A or DVD audio format.
So let's forget about the HD for right now. Just tell me about the two ones that are on the market right now. Which one should I buy?
Neither.
Neither?
Neither.
I'm into the 5.1,
No,
though.
I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. Well, you know what? First of all, let's talk about where there's a lot of brilliant things they're doing. They're trying to create a much higher sampling rate and more storage room for audio, so you can pack more audio on it and audio with a higher sample, right? But let's take a look, Daniel. We did a quick search up here on Amazon.com. They're a pretty good source for DVD audio. Okay, Hotel California, Sting's
Great
Brand
CD.
New Day. You own Brand New Day?
No, I'm not talking about Sting. The Hotel California.
It's a classic. You know what I mean? Dark Side of the Moon. This is the one, the running joke is any new audio format is always going to come out. Dark Side of the Moon is going to be one of the leading things. But if you start looking through this, you're not going to see most of the bands you listen to every day. You're going to see a lot of boomer classic 70s stuff. A lot of classic rock's going to be on there. There's going to be some really unusual samplings of classic stuff. Not a lot of the what you consider a lot of the great stuff, but there's some 60s, there's some classic Motown. What I'm starting to say about is there's not a huge sampling on either DVD audio or SAC.
But you have to admit it would be cool to kick back in your room, put on the Dark Side of the Moon, surround sound,
it really
relax,
depends.
couple beers,
it depends, right? Because remember, none of this was recorded in surround sound. Some of the stuff they're talking about here was recorded with a single microphone in a room, right?
But they're doing something to break that apart, though. They must be if they're going to render it in 5.1.
Basically what happens, right, or if even if it was a stereo recording, what happens is an audio engineer sits down and the audio engineer makes decisions about what sound goes up here, what sound goes back here, what sound is in the center channel, and sometimes audio engineers, and I mean nothing against any audio engineers who might be listening in today, because I know you all have brilliant ears and make beautiful decisions. Yep. Some people do some... That's Ray Vaughn, our audio engineer. And Ray Vaughn, you know this. Some people, they remix albums and they do horrible things to them. If you spent 30 years listening to a Thelonious Monk album and it's been stereo and it's been beautifully imaged and it's been properly sampled, to have it suddenly split into 5.1 is either
with your head.
Yeah, it's either going to be a brilliant reinterpretation of what you're used to as a stereo vision, or it's going to be like, what's the 12-year-old to put the drums in the back and the bass in the front?
But then again, there's groups like the Flaming Lips, whose CD I'm holding right now, that I know for a fact they actually did it themselves.
Right, which is good. And they also, this is a classic example of why DVD audio might be a great idea. There's 10 videos on that disc. There's, additional tracks on that disc. There's the higher quality. All the DVD audio discs are essentially backwards compatible, or should be backwards compatible with existing players that are they're basically going to pump out a Dolby 5.1, which is going to be lower. It's not going to have the same high quality.
Real quick,
as a DVD
about backwards compatibility. So you're saying the DVD audio you can play on a standard DVD player, but not a high quality. A Super Audio CD, I've heard, will also play in a standard CD player.
Well, neither one of us are willing to spend all the money it would take to actually sample a lot of these albums, because there's not a lot of music we want to listen to. But Super Audio CD, if it's set up, yes, you can set it up so that it will be both a normal CD and a Super Audio CD.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
Part of
the problem is but if you don't have a Super Audio CD player, then you're not going to hear any difference. And the truth is if you're feeding it into a cheap amplifier and a bad set of speakers, you're not going to hear a great difference.
Are they more expensive, though? I mean, why not get the Super Audio if you're going to get the same thing?
Well, we want to check, is it a hybrid SACD? Is it able to play on a regular CD player? If you already own the regular version of it, you don't need to go out and buy the Super Audio CD version of it unless you have a Super Audio CD player.
Right.
One of the problems is now is if you're lucky, you have a DVD player that'll do DVD audio. If not, you can look. There's some hybrid players that'll do both DVD audio and SACD. But the music reviews and Fu would like me to point out that he would love for you to read the absolute sand on this. I'm a big stereophile man myself. But the thing is a lot of the ones that combine both formats are not delivering the best audio quality on either format, decoding either format.
I'll just wait for a universal player, because they're going to have them that does both formats.
Well, they have them, but what they're saying right now is they're available. You can purchase them. Some of them are very inexpensive, but a lot of them don't sound very good. So it's kind of like
hold off for now. Then is what you're saying.
You know what? If you have money, if you're buying a new DVD player, if you're a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan, whatever it is, if you see an album that you live for and you want to experience in a new way, go for it. But you might be a little shocked and disturbed. Some of them are mixed well. Some of them aren't so mixed well.
Good to know. All good information.
For more information on future digital audio, click on our show notes at thescreensavers.com and get some links.
There's a heck of a lot of confusion with this whole Comcast G4 Tech TV merger thingy. But if you're uncertain of the future and past shows, we have a free daily newsletter. All you do is over on the left, there's click on newsletter. Bam. Put in your email address. Done. It's coming to you right there. Get all the daily news on TSS and be much happier that you know what's going on the tube for our show. Not bad. So coming up after the break, we're going to help answer a young viewer's question about e-machines and games. A good combination, or should we look elsewhere? Find out when we come back.
Hey, honey.
Hey, just think of what we can do with all the money we're saving.
Well, I have been giving it some thought.
Really?
Yeah. prices you gotta see. Circuit City's the place for amazing digital cameras at great low prices. Right now, save $50 on this Sony 3.2 megapixel digital camera with 2x optical zoom. Now an incredible $179.99 only at Circuit City.
For years, there's only been one way to go for internet service. The same companies charging the same high prices, even as technology costs go down. Ready for something new? With People PC Online, you get unlimited internet access for only $10.95 a month, with no banner ads on your welcome page. Go to peoplepc.com now to try our service free for 30 days and compare us with your current ISP. People PC Online has more local access numbers than AOL, plus a smart dialer that automatically chooses the fastest, most reliable number, so you always get the best connection. That's why so many of our members recommend us to family and friends. People PC Online gives you a better internet experience at a lower price. To compare us free for 30 days, visit peoplepc.com for a 3-minute download of our easy-to-use software or call 1-800-748-7576. People PC Online, a better way to internet.
How am I going to tell everyone that the government has over 4,000 programs for real estate worth $250 billion? I know.
We finally did it. But now where do we live?
I can show you down payment money, closing cost money, and cash to buy the house of your dreams.
Yeah, I know. But how do you get into real estate investment?
I'll show you how to get $1 million to invest in apartment buildings.
This house is a dump. Where am I going to find $50,000 to fix up this place?
My book shows you 200 government money programs to fix up any house. Get $10,000 grant for a new roof, $200,000 for a house in the country, make $1 million in foreclosed property. This money's for people with bad credit to millionaires. It's only $39.95 to start a real estate business or get the house of your dreams. And I guarantee it.
Come spend some quality time with Redman and Method Man, yo.
Go to ebgames.com/vote or your local EB Games store to vote for the EB Gamers Choice Award and win a chance to go to G4ia, the award show for gamers with Method Man and Redman. Stars of the new show Method and Red, Wednesdays at 9:30 on Fox.
And we promise we won't smack you around too much. Yeah, well, maybe just a little bit.
For official rules, go to g4techtv.com/methandred. G4ia is presented by EB Games and Jeep.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Why? Mad Magazine's Dick DiBartolo is back with some of this year's weirdest gadgets. And use the Force for playing Star Wars Galaxies in our Screensavers LAN party. And put a cassette deck in your PC. Make it easy to archive and digitize your old tapes. It's all coming up on tomorrow's fine blended edition of the Screensavers.
Jarrett joins us on the phone now from Houston, Texas.
Hey, Jarrett.
Hi. Hey.
Hi, Patrick and Kevin.
How's it going?
Good.
Anything going down in Texas?
No, not much. Just a little bit of rain.
Yeah?
Good.
Yeah. Cool. A little bit of fog here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a little hungry.
Me too.
Food afterwards, probably.
Pizza?
Yeah, probably pizza sounds good.
Pizza, Jarrett?
Yeah. Pizza.
Cool. Anything we can help you out with by chance?
All right. We're going to be getting a e-machine, and they come with a video card.
Uh-huh.
And are they good for, I mean, do I have to, like, upgrade it or get a new one? Because they're, you know, if it's good or not.
Let me see if I can translate that, Jarrett.
Sorry.
You're thinking about buying an e-machine.
Yes.
You like video games.
Yes.
You love the first-person shooters.
Yes.
You need the heavy-duty frame rate so you can be competitive out there in cyberspace.
Mm-hmm.
And you're wondering whether or not the graphics card that comes in the e-machine is going to be up to snuff for stuff like Far Cry and
like more like Call of Duty, stuff like that.
Okay. Nonetheless, it's a fairly stressful thing. And you probably want to be able to play it like 1024 by 768 or larger rather than playing it like 640 by 480.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't e-machines just like suck normally? I mean,
I actually have owned 2 e-machines, right? E-machines are actually this weird little company that was started by one of the biggest monitor manufacturers in Asia. I actually have owned 2 of them. One of them, the power supply died out. The other one is still happily chugging along, like 4.5 years, almost 5 years later. The thing that's interesting about it is these are very equivalent to like the Dell systems that cost very little money. And you were looking at this before. It's not it's not too bad. It's like $600 after the rebate. We got an AMD Athlon XP 3000 plus processor. And Windows XP Home, a half a gigabyte of RAM, 160 gigabyte hard drive.
Here's the problem right here.
A DVD plus minus RW drive. Yeah, and that's where it gets a little weak.
GeForce 4 MX.
The nice thing about that, though, is, and something you got to watch out for if you're buying a low-cost desktop system, Jared, is a lot of them, like this, have the graphics effectively integrated into the chipset. This one has an AGP slot. That's important. If you don't have an AGP slot, you can't put a fast, high-end 3D graphics card on there.
Yeah, 3D Tetris, you are golden. But when it comes to like Far Cry and stuff like that, then
you are playing at 640 by 480 with everything turned off. And it's actually it's not that bad a deal. You start to look around. Somebody to compare it to would be Dell. We've had pretty good luck with Dell systems over the years, Dell desktops especially. But what you want to look for there is, and if a $600 Dell only has 256 megabytes of memory. And actually, let me switch that over here for a second. If you look at my God, I finally killed my notebook. How sad. I hate it when that happens. The $600 Dell only has 256 megabytes of memory, which is half as much memory.
There you go.
It's got a where did it go? A Pentium 266, 2.66 gigahertz processor, which is not bad. Windows XP Home, and you know what I mean? It's like shared DDR SD RAM, which means in this case their system is pooling your main system RAM with the memory for the graphics card.
We don't like
which
that.
Is bad.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
So I mean, and you know what? What's really nice about the E-machines is you're getting a DVD plus RW, plus dash RW drive. So you got a DVD burner. You got twice as much RAM. And you got an AGP slot in there. So I'd say the E-machines is not a bad idea.
That doesn't sound too bad. And, well, the fact that it has the AGP slot is the biggest.
That's the big one.
That's the key right there. Because you're going to want to upgrade that graphics card sooner or later. Even if you're not really tasking it right now, later on, a few months down the road, want to upgrade.
Yeah, but shop around. Basically, like we're saying, look for an AGP slot, look for a half gigabyte of RAM, look for like a 2.5 to 3 gigahertz processor. $600-700, you should be able to get a nice system with XP Home in there.
And you may want to build it yourself.
It's a good idea.
Another option.
Good luck, Jarrett.
Thanks for the call, Jarrett. Now stay where you are. Next up, we're going to check our inbox to see what's on your mind when the screensavers continue.
America's favorite home gym is more affordable than ever. Now you can get the all-new Bowflex Extreme for just $19 a month. Call the number on your screen for a free DVD or video and check it out. Bowflex designed the Extreme to give you a total body workout in just 20 minutes. Losing weight and building muscle is more effective than ever. When you're ready to get in shape, Bowflex Power Rod technology delivers real results. Powerful arms, defined legs, a stronger heart, and a toned, sexy core. You can perform more than 65 gym-quality exercises, but at a price much lower than your health club dues. Great results are easy with a new Extreme. All it takes is one simple workout, 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, to get in the best shape of your life. The Extreme is built so well that we back it with an unrivaled 7-year warranty. And so effective, it comes with Bowflex's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Through this special offer, you can own one with no money down and just $19 per month. You can't get this Bowflex deal anywhere else. Call now and get chiseled abs, rock-hard biceps, and well-defined lines for just $19 a month. You know you're ready. It's time to let Bowflex help you get there. Join over 1 million people who have already experienced Bowflex and get the results you have always wanted. Every Bowflex Extreme comes standard with a lap tower, a squat platform, adjustable seat, and an incredibly versatile pulley system that adjusts to your body type, allowing you to perform more than 65 body sculpting exercises. And thanks to our $19 a month offer, owning your very own Bowflex home gym is more affordable than ever. Call us for a free DVD or video, or visit us online and find out how to get your Bowflex for just $19 a month today. Bowflex, because your results matter.
Genesis is coming. How's it coming?
Unfortunately, not too good. There's a reason I avoid this type of machine. They are physically a nightmare to work on. Solder doesn't stick well to the pins.
Do you need a sledgehammer? Would you like to crush it right now?
Yeah.
Give him the sledgehammer. Patrick's going to bring in the sledgehammer. All right, Devin, you're asking for it. Here comes Pat. Uh-oh. Here comes the sledgehammer.
Actually, wait a minute. Whose Sega Genesis is this?
I have no idea.
It doesn't belong to...
Let's smash it.
Whose is it?
We'll buy him another one off eBay.
No. Tom's in my wedding. Yeah, we're not smashing.
He'd say okay.
We'll smash something tomorrow.
Oh, let
We'll
him
be
smash
back.
it. I'll buy him another Genesis.
It's not mine to smash.
I think he's already ruined it. Did you ruin it with the solder or no?
Oh, I don't think it's going to work again.
Well, throw it
there
right
we
on
go.
the table right there.
There we go. Let Devin try. Let Devin try.
I just love doing this.
Devin, you give it a try. Come on.
Give it a big...
Here we go.
Yes. Give it another one.
That's very satisfying.
We help you relate to technology here at the Screensavers any way we have to.
All right, Devin.
Devin's like by any means necessary here.
I think that is all the time. That is it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose, and that is Patrick Norton. We'd like to thank our guest, Devin Gallo. We'll see you next time, and have a great night.